The ant continues the N.J. Dawood translation of Al-Quran. I'll make some adjustments and some commentary as I go along here. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. Seen, these are the verses of Al-Quran, a glorious book, a guide and joyful tidings to true believers who attend to their prayers and render the alms levy and firmly believe in the life to come. Now, the alms levy is you've had wealth for a year, and then you give a 40th of it, of whatever that is, every year. And there's other zakats, I guess you could say the couple days worth of grain or whatever it is, a couple days worth of grain or fruit, and at the end of Ramadan for the Eid prayer, and the sacrifice, if you're also somebody who can afford that, your prayers, the orisons. It's good to supplicate and all that other than that, but the word prayer means something more. As for those that deny the life to come, we make their foul deeds seem fair to them, so that they blunder about in their folly. Such are those who shall sternly be punished, and in the hereafter lose most. You have received Al-Quran from him who is wise and all-knowing. Tell Moses, who said to his people, I descry a fire. I will go and bring you news and a lighted torch to warm yourselves with. And when he came near, a voice called out to him, Blessed be he who is in the fire and all around it. Glory be to Allah, Lord of the universe. Moses, I am God, the mighty, the wise one. Throw down your staff. And see, he doesn't worship the fire. He knows that he worships the deity that's beyond the fire. Well, I mean, only one deity, but you know what I mean. Because, I am Allah. When he saw it writhing like a serpent, he turned his back and fled, running on and on. Moses, do not be alarmed, said he. My apostles are never afraid in my presence. As for those who sin and then do good instead of evil, I am forgiving and merciful to them. So regardless of your past, identify with the good that you can be upon. Put your hand into your pocket, it will come out white, although unharmed. This is but one of the 9 signs to Pharaoh and his people, for truly they are wicked men. Now, surely the death of the firstborn is something that it happened more, but it wasn't so, absolute. But when our visible signs were shown to them, they said, This is plain sorcery. Their souls knew them to be true, yet they denied them in their wickedness, and their pride considered the fate of the evildoers. We bestowed knowledge on David and Solomon. The two said, Praise be to Allah, who has exalted us above many of his believing servants. Solomon succeeded David. He said, Know, my people, we have been taught the tongue of birds and endowed with good things. Surely this is the signal favor. No, as in with K-N-O-W. His forces of jinn and men and birds were called to Solomon's presence and ranged in battle array. When they came to the valley of the ants, an ant said, Go into your dwellings, ants, lest Solomon and his warriors should unwittingly crush you. He smiled at her words and said, Inspire me, Lord, to render thanks for the favors you have bestowed upon me and on my parents, and do good works that will please you. Admit me through your mercy among your righteous servants. He inspected the birds and said, Where is the lapwing? I cannot see him here. If he does not offer me a good excuse, I shall sternly punish him, or even slay him. The bird who was not long in coming said, I have just seen what you know nothing of. With truthful news, I come to you from Sheba, where I found a woman reigning over the people. She is possessed of every virtue and has a splendid throne. I found that she and her subjects worship the sun instead of Allah. Satan has seduced them and debarred them from the right path, so that they might not be guided to the worship of Allah, who brings to light all that is concealed in the heavens and the earth, and knows what you hide and what you reveal. Allah, there is no God but Him, the Lord of the glorious throne. And prostrate on the nose and forehead, each hand, each knee, each foot. And it's usually not that we are called towards, be evil for being evil. And if a person is called towards that, it's per se on the context of, well, things are mislabeled and are, they don't, even then they kind of don't intend it to be evil, right? And that prostration point, those 3 verses there, people can think of that as joint effort, as far as a tatwa. He replied, "We shall soon see if what you say is true or false. Go and deliver to them this message of mine, then turn aside and wait their answer." The Queen of Sheba said, "Know, my nobles, that I have received a gracious message. It is from Solomon. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful." Here we see that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, those 19 letters. Again, and Rahman, in a way, we can say that's one of the words for love, other than just, the 2 that we're more familiar with. "Do not exalt yourselves above me, but come to me in all submission. Nobles, let me hear your counsel, for I make no decision without your consent." They replied, "We are a valiant and mighty people. It is for you to decide, so consider what you shall ordain." She said, "When kings invade a city, they ruin it and enslave its chieftains. These men will do the same, but I shall send them a present and see with what reply the envoys will return." And when her envoy came to him, Solomon said, "Is it gold that you would give me? That which Allah has bestowed on me is better than all the riches He has given you, yet you glory in your gift. Go back to your people. We will march against them with forces they cannot oppose, and drive them from their land, humbled and contemned." Not humbled in the good way, but, debased, humiliated. Well, if people have done wrong and they're stopped from doing wrong and they lose their power and stuff like that, that's not necessarily bad thing, right? And to his nobles he said, "Which of you will bring to me her throne before they sue for peace?" A demon from among the jinn replied. Well, a stalwart, really, because obviously that's a servant one. The Ifrit doesn't mean a demon. Replied, "I will bring it to you before you rise from your seat. I am strong enough and faithful." But he who was deeply versed in the book said, "I will bring it to you in a twinkling." And when he saw it set before him, Solomon said, "This is a favor from my Lord, from which he would test my gratitude. He that gives thanks has much to gain, but he who is ungrateful, my Lord, is all sufficient and gracious." Then he said, "Let her throne be altered, so that we may see whether or not she will recognize it." And when she came to Solomon, she was asked, "Is your throne like this?" And she replied, "It looks as though it were the same." He said, "Before her we were endowed with knowledge, and before her we surrendered to the Lord. Her false gods have led her astray, for she comes from an unbelieving nation." She was bidden to enter the palace, and when she saw it, she thought it was a pool of water and bared her legs. But Solomon said, "It is a place paved with glass." Now, I don't know if it says glass or something shiny or something, because some people say it was some other sources talk about it being aquamarine. "Lord," she said, "I have sinned against my own soul. Now I submit with Solomon to Allah, the Lord of the universe." And Asaf ben Barakia, somebody versed in the book. What commentators? Because that sounds like it's is that Talmudic commentary on the issue? I mean, that's important to point out sometimes, but to the mood we sent their kinsman Saleh, he said, serve none but Allah, but they divided themselves into two discordant factions. My people, he said, why do you wish to hasten evil rather than good? If you seek forgiveness of Allah, you may be shown mercy. Because if it was a Muslim commentator, they'd probably say Ibn Kathir or something. They said, we presage evil from you and from your followers. He replied, the evil you presage can come only from God. You are a people put to the proof. Evil from God. That doesn't sound right. Um, the ill. Okay, okay. In the town there was a band of 9 men who did evil in the land, and nothing that was good. They said, let us swear in the name of Allah to kill him in the night, together with all his household. We will say to his next of kin, we were not even present when they were slain. It is the truth we are telling. You know, like I'm where somebody that's like, not, we don't want to blame Charles Manson because Charles Manson didn't do it himself. Yeah, but he kind of he urged those other people to do that killing. And some people will use oaths in the name of God to ensure that people do their bad deeds. Now, if you realize that something is a bad deed, then you're not supposed to uphold the oath to have, to do the bad deed. And thus they plotted, but we too plotted without their knowledge, and behold the consequences of their plots. We destroyed them utterly, together with all their people, because they sinned. Their dwellings are desolate ruins. Surely in this there is a sign for prudent men. Yet we delivered the true believers and those who kept from evil. And tell of Lot, he said to his people, do you commit indecency with your eyes open, lustfully, seeking men instead of women? Surely you are an ignorant people. Yet this was his people's only reply. Banish the house of Lot from your city. They are men who would keep chaste. So we delivered him and all his tribe except his wife, whom we caused to stay behind, and pelted the others with pouring rain. And evil was the rain which fell on those who were forewarned. Say, praise be to Allah, and peace be upon his servants, whom he has chosen. Who is more worthy? Allah are the partners they serve besides him. Yushrik is, they attribute them as having partnership in divinity, but you get partnership in a law firm, but you don't get partnership in the divinity. Surely worthier is he who created the heavens and the earth and sent down water from the sky for you, bringing forth gardens of delight. Try as you may, you cannot cause such trees to grow. Another God besides Allah, yet they make others his equals. Now, another God beside God is like a question. Surely worthier is he who has established the earth and watered it with running rivers, who has set mountains upon it and placed a barrier between the two seas. Another God besides God. It's a question. Something else to worship besides Allah? Indeed, most of them have no knowledge. Surely worthier is he who answers the oppressed when they cry out to him and relieves their affliction, is he who has given you the earth to inherit. Another God besides Allah, how little do you reflect? And again, I point out that that's not a phrase. It's it's what something to worship. What and he answers the oppressed when they cry out to him and relieves their affliction. Is it he who has given you the earth to inherit another God besides the law? How little you reflect. Surely worthier is he who guides you in the darkness of the land and sea, and sends the winds as harbingers of his mercy, another God besides the law. Exalted be he above their idols. Oh, Yushrikun, yeah. The things that they have taken in as like their deities. Oh, and I didn't know. I don't know if I've noticed how it keeps on saying Ma'Allah. Allahu Ma'Allah. Yeah. I think I might have said that one verse twice in a row after, so I didn't mean to do that. Surely worthier is he who has brought the creation into being and will then restore it, who gives you sustenance from heaven and earth. Another God besides the law, say, show us your proof. If what you say be true, say, no one in the heavens or on earth has knowledge of what is hidden except the law, nor shall men ever know when they will be raised to life. Have they attained a knowledge of the life to come? By no means. They are in doubt about it, and their eyes are sealed. The unbelievers say, when we and our fathers are turned to dust, shall we be raised to life? We were promised this once before, and so were our fathers. It is but a fable of the ancients. Say, roam the earth and see what was the end of the guilty. Do not grieve for them, nor be distressed at their intrigues. And they ask, when will this promise be fulfilled? If what you say be true, say part of what you challenge may well be near at hand. Surely your Lord is bountiful to men, yet most of them do not give thanks. They say aloud, there is no secret in heaven or earth that is recorded in a glorious book. This Quran declares to the Israelites most of that concerning which they disagree. And every new revelation is like that. It's supposed to restore what's to be restored and add to it. To say it is surely a guide and a blessing to true believers. Your Lord will rightly judge them. Your Lord will rightly judge them. He is the mighty one, the all-knowing. Therefore, put your trust in Allah. Yours is surely the path to the glorious truth. You cannot make the dead to hear you, nor can you make the deaf hear your call. When they turn their backs and pay no heed, it is not for you to guide the blind out of their error. None shall hear you except those who believe in our revelations and surrender themselves to us. On the day when the doom overtakes them, we will bring out from the earth a monster that shall speak to them. Truly men have no faith in our revelations. On that day we shall gather from every community a multitude of those who disbelieve our revelations. They shall be led in separate bands, and when they come, he will say, you denied my revelations, although you knew nothing of them. What was it you were doing? The doom will smite them in their sins, and they shall be dumbfounded. Do they not see how we made the night for them to rest in, and the day to give them light? Surely there are signs in this for true believers. On that day the trumpet shall be sounded, and all who dwell in the heavens and on earth be seized with fear, except for those whom Allah will choose to spare. All shall come to him in utter humility. The mountains, firm though you may think them, will pass away like clouds. Such is the might of Allah, who has perfected all things. He has knowledge of all your actions. Those that have done good shall be rewarded with what is better, and shall be secure from the terrors of that day. But those that have done evil shall be hurled headlong into the fire. Shall you not be rewarded according to your deeds? Say, I am bidden to serve the Lord of this city, which he has made sacred. All things are his. I am commanded to surrender to him and to proclaim Al-Quran. He that takes the right path shall take it for his own good. To him who goes astray, say, I am only to give warning. Then say, praise be to Allah, he will show you his signs, and you will recognize them. Your Lord is never heedless of what you do.